Yeah, yeah. Hey, I gotta say, I'm sad to be back home. I'm sad to be back home. I'm sitting here in a bedroom in my house, wishing I was there with you and our trusty video editor there, Lukien. How you doing, Lukien? But listen, hey, the World Cup is here, and we are how many days in? And I'm already tired. I mean, there is some ridiculous results happening here. Hopefully, um, yeah. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely unbelievable. And I don't know. I mean, anyone that thought he didn't deserve Golden Boy, I guess probably just got a little bit of a dose of their own medicine. I have to admit, I was one of them. I was
Hmm.
definitely one of them, and he basically just proved already in the first game, making Kaylor Navas
Can
look
you?
like a
Hmm.
yeah. Is there something going on?
Can't
Yeah,
see.
unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Wait. We don't. Wait. Can you hear us now? No. We good. Okay. You got me scared right there. Community. But yes, if you didn't hear me, Gavi did become the first player since Pele to score in the World Cup. Since 1958, and Pele scored at 17. That was bold, man. Bold. Oof. Oh, yeah, I just had to
Yeah, it
say
really
that.
was. Yeah, are we sure? Are we? Everybody's good. Everyone can hear.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just make sure. You can hear. You can hear me, okay? All right. Well, hey, it's not a World Cup in Qatar, a new place without us having technical difficulties here. But listen, I have been so flippin' impressed by a lot of these games here, and the amount of young players getting a shout early on. Gavi in the first place. But in the first game, do you want to go back to the beginning and talk about Qatar, Ecuador, and just work our way down, or do we just want to bounce around and kind of let the chat be our guide here? What do you want to do?
I'd say let's ask the chat who's gonna win the World Cup. That's the big question right now. Who's gonna win the World Cup? Spain's favorites.
Yeah.
And interesting fact too, since in the 2018 World Cup, we only had one draw 0-0. In this one,
Yeah.
we already had four. Oh my days, man.
Yeah, but come on, we had two games. We had one game with a touchdown in it, Spain, Costa Rica, 7-0. And we had another game, England, maybe it's coming home this time, 6-2 against Iran. I don't know. I mean, but yeah, those 3-0-0 games were absolutely kind of dreadful, I guess. Great results for Tunisia, great results for Morocco, but ultimately, yeah, a lot of the offensive firepower was stuck into one or two games. But first and foremost, I think we have to talk about the elephants, the multiple elephants in the room. Can we talk about the two upsets, please?
Yes, Saudi Arabia, man. National holiday one day after beating Argentina in style. Quick. Argentina wasn't focused. And Saudi Arabia went bold, okay? No Lisandro Martinez to make a difference. Enzo, Alvarez, good subs, but that wasn't enough.
I'm going to be the first person to say it here. You got to wipe that midfield clean. Wipe it clean.
But
Okay,
Enzo.
start Enzo, start McAllister next game. I don't care if their roles or their strong points, their strong suits don't exactly kind of connect with each other like Rodrigo de Paul did. But they lost that game in the midfield, one. And two, also on the forward line. I mean, if you can't figure out a high line, then you don't deserve to win. And I get it. There were some weird VAR mistakes, maybe, blah, blah, blah. But Saudi Arabia, there was no VAR issues with Saudi Arabia's two phenomenal goals. I mean, absolutely phenomenal goals. Okay. But you're not going to win a game if you have 7 offsides in the first 35 minutes.
Definitely. Like, what a masterclass too by that manager. That manager he went through with Zambia, am I right, in 2010?
Yeah.
And
then
he
won
AFCON with Cote d'Ivoire.
Yep.
Like
2012, 2015, you won Africa. Yeah, Hervé Renard has been around a long, long time, and it is kind of fitting that this guy's kind of getting his. I think there's video and audio leaking of his halftime team talk for Saudi Arabia. But come on, I mean, like Twitter was all alight after that Ecuador-Qatar game and England-Iran. It was alight with everybody saying, oh my goodness, the World Cup going from 32 to 48 teams is going to be absolutely dreadful. And then you have Saudi Arabia coming out and beating Lionel Messi and Argentina. And I'm going to say it right now. If I am Mexico, okay, I do not like that look on Lionel Messi's face at the end of that game.
Facts.
Okay, Lionel Messi looked like he is going to literally take all of Mexico himself next game to get this done. Because anyone that's saying Argentina can't come back and do some wonderful things in this World Cup obviously did not pay attention in 2010 when Spain lost their first game 1-0 to Switzerland and wound up going on, only scoring, I believe, 8 goals in the whole flipping tournament. And they wound up going on and winning the 2010 World Cup. So it can still be done. But if Argentina comes out and maybe scores some of those goals they scored against Saudi Arabia, and they actually stick because they know how to, work the high line, I think they're going to be okay. So I'm not writing Argentina off. Are you writing Argentina off right now?
Well, Saudi Arabia beating a winning streak of 36 games isn't the best sign, but I do agree that they're still one of the favorites. Definitely.
Okay.
And I think Argentina's going to beat Mexico, but if they don't, Memo Ochoa went bold. And he went bold too against Poland, I gotta say, because Lewandowski missed a crucial pen. These are the pens that win you the Ballon d'Ors, and he didn't do it. So Poland is not in a good situation going against now, fully confident after a national holiday, Saudi Arabia. Okay, so
okay, tell me if anyone else saw this in the Poland-Mexico game. When Robert Lewandowski stepped up for that penalty kick, is it me or did you just feel like there was no way he was going to score it? Right? Not only because it was Memo Ochoa in the goal, but you know what is insane to me? Robert Lewandowski does not have a World Cup goal, period.
Oof.
And he looked nervous. He looked so nervous that I had a feeling he was going to get stonewalled, regardless of who the goalkeeper was. So
that's mad.
It
Zero.
is.
Zero.
And
then you have Thomas Muller with 10 goals in previous World Cups. The player with most goals active right now.
Yeah.
Ronaldo and Messi, 7 both. But Ronaldo's going to change that tomorrow.
well, it's funny that you talk about Thomas Muller and Germany, but we'll get to them in a little bit because my oh my, if there's a team I'm going to write off right now, it's going to be probably Germany. But back to Poland. I want to voice something right now because in our team of the group, Group C, in our team of the group, I 100% thought Peter Zelensky was going to have a better game. I honestly thought his Napoli form would come over. Once again, I guess, and we did have some Polish fans on Twitter telling us he's not the same player for Poland. He's never going to be the same player for Poland. Well, they were right. And I'm sad because I thought he'd be so much better. And unfortunately, it just goes to show you, club form does not automatically guarantee World Cup form. And Peter Zelensky is 100% that. Now, there's 2 games that he can come back and redeem himself. But my goodness, Poland looked, I don't know how better to put it. And Mexico, honestly, I don't know what's going to happen here, right? This group is wide open now because guess what? Saudi Arabia is at the top. Saudi Arabia is at the top of Group C. So
now Poland and Mexico have to go bold, man, in order to get that second place. And Saudi Arabia must be thinking, we're 1 draw away.
Yeah.
But will Saudi Arabia go through, people? Put it in the comment section down below. We want to see some people rooting Saudi Arabia. Needed to. But that was not the only remontada that happened. Because we did have Japan shocking the world, okay, by beating Germany. But if you watched Blue Lock, you weren't that surprised. Nah, joking. But
my goodness.
Japan, man, okay, I was so shocked. Hitsudoan. Okay,
Yep.
he's got to get a move after this. He's got to get a move. Seven Bundesliga players in this Japanese team too. Like
Sure.
what? Like and
Yeah,
the player
and
who scored the final goal is not even a starter for Boschud. Oh my days.
I'm with you. I'm with you there. But Ritsu Doan, I mean, I think he's already at the perfect place. He's at Freiburg. He's at Freiburg, which I believe is second or third in the Bundesliga table. But no, Ritsu Doan, I've been following him. We've been following him since the Eredivisie.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I mean, they have depth. They have just a great discipline, just a phenomenal way. I always enjoy watching the Japanese football team play. And you didn't even really see Matoma at his best. You didn't see Wataru Endo at his best. You didn't see Kubo at his best. Daizen Maeda at his best. But you know what you did see?
Yoshida.
That goalkeeper? Yoshida, yeah, the 33-year-old center back formerly.
Too.
Oh my God, Tomiyasu, yep, and people realize why he's so highly regarded at Arsenal now. But yeah, that goalkeeper,
Gonda.
I 100%, yeah, Gonda. I 100% thought Daniel Schmidt was going to start the game. What do I know? And here comes in Gonda, and it's a damn good thing that he was in goal because he was probably the reason Germany did not win this thing. And guess what? Germany lost it because they fell asleep for the whole second half. What happened? How does that happen? Hansi Flick either is the world's worst coach or I don't know. His players did not play for the badge. They did not play for anybody in that second half. What the hell happened? The first half, they looked like they were going to run away with it, right?
Facts.
And my gosh.
And it's the second time in history, okay, that a team that dominates the possession loses the game with 73%. The first time this happened was Germany in 2018 with South Korea. 74% they had of ball possession, and they still lost. With two Asian teams too, man. Coincidence? Oh my days. This is Jamal Musiala too, man. Like I was saying breakouts start coming, this, that, and the other thing. Yeah, right. Pedri and Gavi. No, Pedri got subbed off too early, okay? Yes. And this is something interesting too. Pedri doesn't play the same way as Gavi plays with Luis Enrique. Gavi is totally the star boy of Spain at 18. It's unbelievable how confident he is with this team. And there's a reason why he won that Copa trophy, as we see now. So,
well, you know, I got to ask, and maybe we throw it out to the comments. Were Spain just that good, or was Costa Rica that horrendous? Okay, that Costa Rican team, if you need to take a bomb to a team, it is that team. You need to just completely unravel that team and build it around Jewison Bennett and some of the other guys like Brandon Aguilera who came in late of that game because, my goodness, Keylor Navas could not do a dang thing for that Costa Rican team. That was absolutely horrendous. So I think maybe like England-Iran, where Iran was that bad, and England, like XG-wise, if you look at the underlying statistics, they weren't as good as the statistics tell you they were. Maybe there was an underlying element to that, so I don't want to get too far ahead of myself and say Spain is a favorite. But my goodness, like Costa Rica was horrendous.
I agree.
100% horrendous.
I agree, but you got like Jordi Alba looked different this game. Ferran Torres for Barcelona compared to Ferran Torres for the Spanish national team. Luis Enrique must give this man a secret potion or something before the games because we don't see the same level. We just don't. And Rodri at center back, that was a great decision. Great decision. And I was judgmental, like Busquets starting with Pedri and Gavi. Luis Enrique seems to know. He knows this team better than anyone. And I got to look at the stats, man. 1,043 passes in a game. 94% of the passes were correct. So the decision-making of the Spanish national team is immense, too. Like, I really don't know what else to say, but to say that the Spanish national team right now, in terms of ball playing ability, ball possession, it's the best team in the world. The best team in the world. Next to Man City. Woo! Definitely, man.
Okay.
Luis Enrique has got them playing at an elite level, and he knows how special Gavi is. He knows,
Fair
man.
enough.
It's just immense. So,
Now,
Pedro Carvalho, thank you for the for the 99 cents, man.
oh, what a nice guy. What a nice guy. Hey, I got to tell you, though, I was immensely excited to see Nico Williams get on the pitch and immediately get a goal involvement of sorts, or at least I believe he had the cross that led to one of the last goals. Nico Williams, before his older brother, winds up getting in a Spanish national team game before Portugal plays Ghana tomorrow. So that is just a wonderful story. And you got to say it, Luis Enrique is doing it with a very, very young core group that he is trusting in order to get this done. And okay, I guess that was the easiest fixture at the beginning stages for them. Next up, Germany. And it is a Germany that is licking its wounds, a Germany that played well for 45 minutes and then stunk the place up for another 45. So it is going to be really, really amazing television to watch this Spain versus Germany. And it's going to be Musiala versus Gavi Pedri. And it's going to be great.
I'm going Spain, man. Since 7-0 win. Like, for
I'm
me,
with you.
Germany, without Timo Werner, they have no striker, no efficiency of forwards, man. And that for me is going to be a deadliner.
Yeah.
And shout out to Neuer being there, too. After all those surgeries with skin cancer, I want to give a big shout out to him being there.
Yeah, that's a great shout out.
It's huge, man.
Huge. He made one save at one point. I think Japan had a really, really nice. Yeah, he did. He made a good save that maybe kept it from getting worse for them because they always had a shot to potentially equalize. But back to Spain really quickly. Who was I going to talk about? Oh, yeah. We're talking about Timo Werner missing for Germany, right? Spain didn't play with a 9, essentially, right? Asensio was essentially starting up there, was he not?
Yeah, it's a rotation, but I guess
they were rotating. Okay, you get me. Okay, it wasn't Morata up there, is what I was essentially saying. He came in later, had a goal. But anyway, that group, not surprising, is going to go down to the wire. I mean, I honestly believe. I don't know about Japan, Germany at the end of the game, but it's as simple as this: if Japan smacks Costa Rica, as is expected, right?
Japan
maybe.
goes through.
They go through. I mean, there's no way they don't go through unless everyone winds up on 2-1. That means Germany's got to go. Yeah, and then it's goal differential.
Germany has to beat both Spain. What a terrible situation Germany's now.
Yeah, they're basically. I mean, they're almost out in some respects, right? It's going to be. They have to beat Spain. Is really what it comes down to.
They have to beat Spain, man. It's and it's going to be interesting for me to see if Nico does perform that way in Fati too. Like Noah and Zufati, like I want to see if this Spanish national team could cook something with more youth, even more youth.
Well, listen, we're talking about Japan. We're talking about Saudi Arabia. Do you want to know what team played both Japan and Saudi Arabia right before the World Cup started?
Who was that?
The United States. We lost to Japan, and we actually drew Saudi Arabia, and now both of those results are looking pretty good. No, just kidding. I mean, either way, it was pretty terrible. But no, this was my segue into USA Wales. You want to talk about USA Wales for a second?
Man. You guys played really well. It had to be Bale, right? It just had to be Bale. This man can't stop scoring in the U.S. and against the U.S.
Gareth Bale is like a cancerous tumor on you can't get him to leave you alone. It is unbelievable. The man already ripped my heart out once against the Philadelphia Union in MLS Cup, and now he does it again. But hey, it needs to come down. It needs to be said. Walker Zimmerman, up until that moment, had a very, very good game that played to his strengths. And then, my goodness, Gareth Bale is and Tyler Adams, but Gareth Bale is a smart human being. He knows how to goad a tackle, and that's exactly what happened. I honestly don't know what to say, except we had a great 55 minutes or so. Agreed. The final 35 was an absolute like up in the air. Wales could equalize or we could go ahead. But when it comes down to it, if you're scoring only one goal, Greg Berhalter, if you're scoring only one goal with Christian Pulisic, with Timothy Weah, okay, with all these attacking threats that we potentially have, these young guys that are itching to get it done, and then you don't bring Gio Reyna on, and you say that he's injured, but he's not actually injured according to him, then I've got issues with you. I've got issues with you.
That's
embarrassing. We needed those 3 points. Those 3 points give you so much leeway heading into these next 2 games, and now we've got this Black Friday England matchup where, let's be honest, England wiped the floor with Iran. They did, and they didn't even play their best.
And one day after Thanksgiving, man. And on Black Friday too, that 25th. Whoa, we got a super chat here by Pedro Carvalho that says, do you think Portugal's going to win against Ghana? And continue with the great work. Thank you, Pedro, for that great compliment, okay, about the great work. We're going to keep going bold. And Portugal is definitely my guy. Beating Ghana. Definitely, man. Especially, I can't even imagine how Ronaldo's thinking after seeing the Messi losing to Saudi Arabia. He must be saying, if I win the World Cup and I retire as a football player, Ronaldo knows. He's GOAT if that happens. Because it's a drop a mic type moment. Because it does matter how you end up. And that's that best ending in style. Winning Euros, winning Champions League nonstop, and then winning the World Cup.
And the man is now free and clear of all club burden, right? So Cristiano Ronaldo is going to want to go big because I'm going to be honest. Go big or go home. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I'm pretty sure that sums up essentially what he's been doing his whole entire career. So now is the time. And you better get the 3 points against Ghana because you don't want to be one of these Germanys or Argentinas sitting there and hoping other results go their way. But my goodness, man, Ghana, I'll tell you what, I did not know that there was such a large footballing community that followed us on TikTok, because they are unhappy that I placed them at 4th in their group in our predictions. And you know what? They absolutely have the ability to shock the group. So it really, I am on Thanksgiving, I'm going to be sitting down to a turkey dinner, but not after I watch Portugal play Ghana. And it's going to be great.
We're going to win it, man. And then you have Brazil-Serbia. Brazil-Serbia that can surprise the world too. Nah, but seriously, man. Uruguay, they have to beat South Korea. And Portugal, we have to go bold. It's now or never. The whole team. Antonio Silva against Nigeria. What a game he had next to Ruben Dias. That is the present and future of Portugal. Antonio Silva could legit play in the World Cup, and we would have quality at the back. Quality. Yeah. Nuno Mendes, Cancelo, Ruben Dias, Nuno Mendes, obviously. And then at the back, Diogo Costa. Antonio Silva, jogador. Gotta say that.
Yeah. But, before we go to future fixtures here, because I'm sure we're going to talk more about them, should we go back to game day? Because, match day 1, we had Ecuador, Qatar. Yeah. And, I mean, I know he got injured, but I hate to say I told you so about Enner Valencia, right?
Yeah, yes, you did. You said that he was better than Depay in this group, and Group A, and yeah, you're right on that one. And two, I was most surprised with Hincapie, man. What a game by Hincapie, totally dominant. And at the left side, Estupinan, bought from Brighton, replacement from 60 million Cucurella. This is a proper team with Moises Caicedo too dictating that midfield. So they might go through. Yeah. They might go through with Netherlands.
Because Senegal, with that Sadio Mane blow out for the tournament, they're going to need a shock result later on if they're going. Well, they're going to need to beat Ecuador. It's that simple, and beat them big. And Qatar, so they're going to have to win out the rest of the way. But the Netherlands, who needs Memphis Depay coming on late when you got Cody Gakpo getting things done for you? But to be honest, the Dutch didn't play that well. I mean, it's that simple. They didn't.
No, I don't agree. I don't agree.
I didn't think they were that great. I mean, but here's the good thing to that, Alex. The good thing to that is that they have plenty. They still won 2-0, and they have plenty that they can improve upon. I mean, I think their ability to go far in this tournament is still intact because when you get a result, even though, in my opinion, you didn't play that well, that's great.
I'm gonna give more praise to Senegal. I think Senegal didn't play bad, but Netherlands just played much better in my opinion. Like I liked how they play. Frankie De Jong first half, second half there was a difference, and Cody Gakpo too. But I'm gonna give credit to the Netherlands, man. And in my opinion, right now, obviously next to Spain without result, Spain, Portugal, and the Netherlands and France, are definitely the 4 contenders. Like Mbappe, man. Mbappe is definitely making me think like Mbappe is a player focused for the World Cup.
Well, more adversity. He is focused, and he's going to have to be, because that next man up mentality that we talked about. Yeah. I told you that there's no way, they will exercise this curse, not because they have Paul Pogba or N'Golo Kante or now Karim Benzema or now Lucas Hernandez. Not any of these guys are going to be on the pitch. Yeah, Nkunku missing this. They're going to do it because they have next man up mentality. I don't know how far they're going to go, but they're going to get out of their group, and they're going to be really tough to beat. Okay?
Because they have Mbappe, man.
I know, but also like Lucas tears his ACL and his brother comes in and finishes the game for him and has a great game. And again, there was a scare. The Aussies scored first.
True.
They did. And they kind of pushed them on the back foot. And then once they gained a stronghold, right? Once they gained a hold on the game, you knew France were just going to start piling it on. And who knew? Adrien Rabiot, Olivier Giroud is now tied, I believe. I don't think he went clear. Yes. He is now tied as the all-time leading French Les Bleus goal scorer, above Thierry Henry with, I believe it's, 41 or 51? 51,
49.
41. Oh, okay. I was way off then. My goodness, though. Like, he's just one of those guys that just such an unsung hero. And I get it. He's never been Mr. like, I'm going to score 35 goals a year. But, man, does he get things done when teams need him to get things done?
Fact.
He steps up all the time. And I'll be honest, like, that French defense was kind of shaky. The midfield, like Chouameni and them, it took a while for them to grow into the game. But you're right. It was Mbappe that, like, took the game by the scruff of the neck and said, no, we are not pulling in Argentina. It's not happening.
Exactly.
Not going to happen.
Exactly.
So
and Mbappe's, again, I'll repeat, I really believe Mbappe's focus and main competition, Cristiano Ronaldo, to be fair, was the Champions League. I think Mbappe is going to be the World Cup, man. Because in 2018, he carried France at 19. And now he's 23. And he's even scarier, man. So I think the curse, the curse can't stop.
Yeah.
And Denmark, man, they'll be in trouble. Because Tunisia played better in the first half than Denmark, in my opinion. And Denmark, looking at France, they must be quaking their boots, man. Next level. And there was Delaney, I think he's not going to be anymore. He's injured. No. He's out.
No.
Oh, what a miss. What a miss.
Yep. So, next man up there, you got Damsgaard that can come in. You got a couple others. They do have depth, right? Jesper Lindstrom and some of them can come in and do some things. But yeah, Denmark did not look like the Denmark that won all of our hearts at the Euros. But we do have to remember, like, a lot of these teams did not have a lot of time together. So the team we're talking about on game day 1 might not be the team we're talking about on game day 3. Right. Yep. So it's just whether or not you string together 2 terrible results before you get things together. So you just can't bottle it like Germany. No,
Argentina.
But or Argentina. My goodness, still like what a ridiculous loss. Right. What an absolutely ridiculous loss. I honestly, that was one of the craziest losses I think I've ever seen. It has to be, right?
Nah.
I mean, the only one, what one, like maybe Senegal beating France in 2002?
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe the U.S. beating France in the Under-20 World Cup?
Well, I mean World Cup, like, men's World Cup history, but yeah, that was pretty awesome. Yeah, that was, what was that, Richie Ledesma to Sebastian Soto?
I think Dest was even there, maybe, no? Dest?
He might have been. Yeah, he might have been.
Timothy
Holy crap.
Weah, I remember Weah there. Man.
Yeah,
Weah for me is one of the best players that... No, Timothy Weah for me is one of the players that shocked me the most to see how good he really is, man. I honestly don't expect him like to stay in the same club after what I'm seeing in this World Cup, man. Next level.
His biggest issue, man, is just health. It's injuries all the time. I mean, when he shows it, and Lille they've been playing him at right back a couple games before heading into this, and he's never really gotten a spot in the starting 11 for some reason at Lille, except for a period of time. So, Christian Pulisic and Timothy Weah, that setup, it's just so sad that you couldn't actually see more wonderful attacks like that. Like, that was precise, and it was like how it's supposed to be done on the transition. And they had multiple opportunities, whether it's Christian Pulisic, whether it's any number of guys, even Brendan Aronson late in the game. They were 3v3 or 4v3 on the counter, and they just couldn't get it done. And of course, it's Gareth Bale that kills us. Anyway, I do have to say, going back to things, you got to single out some of the Saudi Arabian guys, right? There's a 23-year-old center back. I don't know how many of these Saudi guys would actually move or actually entertain a move abroad, but Tom Bakhti, the 23-year-old center back, was phenomenal. Burokane, I don't know if I'm butchering his pronunciation, but him on the wing, he was wonderful. He had an assist. I mean, some of these guys, you got to look at it and you got to say, like,
the kryptonite of Messi.
Oh my gosh, who knew? Who knew, man? And to be in that stadium for that game would have been absolutely ridiculous. And I envy the content creators out there that are there right now, but hey, I got to go to Portugal. But
listen, we got to hear a huge donation, man. Man, I got to get the name right. Paul Sheen Channel. Thanks for entertaining, guys. Love the energy in the YouTube in Portugal. Keep up the great work, man. Thank you so much, man. I had to sorry. What a huge donation, man. But yeah, again, tell us in the comments who's gonna win the World Cup. I want to see those flooded, man. And
we haven't gotten, like, we've talked about Rabiot and Giroud and all these guys, and Mbappe obviously stepping up for France. And before we move on to the other shellacking that was England Iran. Why is it that Antoine Griezmann just turns it on for Les Bleus? It is immense to me. Like, Deschamps, I guess, just knows how to use him, and he just feels at home with Les Bleus. That's all it is. And, yeah, exactly. You're exactly right. He's trusted. He is 100% trusted. And to be honest, I think one of the best things to happen to them, you want to see Karim Benzema in this tournament, absolutely. But maybe one of the better things to happen for France, I shouldn't say the best, because that means I'm wishing ill will on Karim Benzema. But one of the best things that might have happened for Les Bleus is Benzema kind of getting injured and not being part of this. I don't know how far they're going to go. In my mind, there's no way Les Bleus repeat. But I think that next man up mentality is so big for them, because you still have so many players in this 11 that are going to be fighting tooth and nail to stay in this 11, right? This is not the 2018 World Cup Les Bleus, okay? So they'll probably go out early because of that, but they'll probably definitely get out of the group because of that. But that's it.
That's why it's the last year of Deschamps, in my opinion. I feel like he's going to do this, and he's going to bounce Didier Deschamps. And interesting enough, just like João Félix, okay, for Portugal, Griezmann for France is levels different. I totally agree, because they are given the freedom to express their vision, their passes, and make that incredible decision making. So give credit to Fernando Sancho and Deschamps. You're not going to see me saying this a lot of times, people, okay? Just like you won't see me saying a lot of times to give credit to Southgate, but I got to give credit to Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham, man. For me, in this first round, man, Jude Bellingham has to be considered one of the best midfielders in the world for what we saw for England against Iran, man. He dictated the whole midfield of England. And if England is going to make that World Cup go home whatever time, it's with Jude Bellingham starting and Saka too. Yeah. I just can't understand how Sterling's playing instead of Phil Foden, okay? Foden, Saka, Kane. That's it. That's it. That's it, man. I don't get it. I don't get it.
It's a long tournament. I think you're going to see Foden get a start, but Raheem Sterling wasn't exactly bad against Iran. In fact, he was pretty damn good. No, I got you.
I'd put Foden much better. Like it'd be even. I know they beat Iran, but I just can see Sterling lacking, man. In my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I do have to ask you because this was one of those ones like I watched this game back, right? I watched it back because I just wanted to see like, was England that lights out? Or was Iran that bad? And I got to say, my goodness, it was like 50-50. Iran was that bad, okay? Because the defense, they stepped back on not one, but like three of England's goals. They stepped back, and they literally let the attacker do whatever the heck they wanted. Like, if you're smart and you scout, Bukayo Saka should not be allowed to turn onto his left foot. Yeah. What are you doing? Let alone in the 18. Like, you're just not paying attention or not focused. And it seems to me like that was an Iranian team that was just not focused on the task at hand. It seemed like their thoughts and their, your brain power was elsewhere, i.e. like back home, because some crazy stuff is happening back in Iran. So
they didn't sing the national anthem. And shout out to Taremi, man. 2 goals scored. 2 goals scored, man, with all the situation that's happening. And yeah, Taremi is another player that if it wasn't for his age, if he wasn't in Porto, he'd definitely be talked a lot more. And again, people in the World Cup will be reminded, just like they were with Weah, man. Taremi is another one of those players that it's just gonna be taught. And Tyler Adams, I just want to go back to the US fast. Tyler Adams, I have friends of mine here in Portugal saying, man, you were right. Tyler Adams is actually really good, man. So a lot of people didn't see him as good as he really is. So I think the World Cup is changing a lot of minds with these players. Like we said with Milinkovic-Savic for Serbia too. Sorry.
We'll see after tomorrow when Serbia takes on Brazil. My goodness, I cannot wait for that game. But listen, like if you're gonna throw a shout out to Tyler Adams, I gotta shout out Tim Ream, because for the majority of that game, he showed how smart he has been. He has shown why he has had staying power in the Premier League and why he's actually one of the kind of overperforming center backs, well beyond what his talent. And it could be to Marco Silva, but it is very apparent that he is not the Tim Ream that all of us literally would scoff at a couple years ago when you would see him on the roster at left back or at DM or wherever. Tim Ream, here he is plugging the gaps. Tim Ream looked great up until Walker Zimmerman gave up that center back or that foul on Gareth Bale. So I only hope that they grow into this. They are young, but like guys, it's time to put up or shut up. And if you can't do it against England, there's no like hoping Iran just lays down and lets you go by them, because there's an extra added charge when Iran plays the USA. So a tie or more against England would be a massive statement. And I just don't know. I mean, right now, you look at Grealish, you look at Saka, you look at Bellingham, you look at a bunch of these guys, and man, do they look like they're humming along. I just hope a lot of that was because Iran was not in the right headspace to play that game. But we'll see.
I believe England are going to... No, now it's not a believe. It's definitely, in my opinion, England are going to top this group. And whoever they get next, if they get a Serbia's impossible. So their group B has to be A. Woo!
Yeah.
If they get... If they get...
Ecuador, Senegal.
They beat them, yeah. They get Senegal or Ecuador. So I do expect England to go far in this World Cup. Yep.
Yeah. Now, and you know what the funny thing? Yeah. And you know what the funny thing is we were talking about Argentina and how obviously that loss was shocking. But if Argentina finishes second in their group, it's actually not the worst thing in the world for them. It's not the worst thing in the world for them. I think they go to a weaker side of or like on paper, it's a weaker side of the bracket, right?
But the final of Portugal, then it's impossible if we end up first. So, if Argentina gets second and we go first, We might as well see in the semifinals Portugal, Argentina, I think. I'm not sure.
Could be. I don't know. I didn't get to look at the bracket, but my goodness, that would be mouthwatering to say the least.
We all want to see it. We all want to see an Argentina, Portugal, man. We all want in the knockout stages because that would be a decider.
I have to ask. That would be a massive decider. Do you think, I'm gonna just throw it out there, will Robert Lewandowski score at the World Cup?
It was Memo Ochoa. I'm going to say yes against Saudi Arabia, man. Because if he doesn't score against Saudi Arabia, I really don't know what does he need to do, honestly. And yes, I know they went bold against Argentina, but this is a man that just wants one goal. Just wants one goal, man.
And to me, that feels like exactly why he's not going to get it. You know, you want something so bad, it just isn't gonna happen. It might even be like Leo Messi in the World Cup trophy. He wants it so bad, he's overthinking it. They overthought playing Saudi Arabia, and they didn't play their game. And I think who is it, Scaloni? Honestly, that man, that 11. What the heck? Rodrigo De Paul has not been great. Has not been great at all. And everyone was right that was criticizing our best 11s for that group. Everyone was right saying they're probably not going to start McAllister. They're probably not going to start Enzo. They were all correct. Anyone that was an Argentinian fan. And I'm so sad that they were correct because they deserve better because, frankly, you know, you play those guys that are gonna just go straight for the gullet, whether it's Saudi Arabia or it's them playing against Brazil. And Enzo, it makes. Oh, and Martinez, you're exactly right.
Massive difference in ball progression. Like the moment, and it was like they suffered. Martinez came on. He knew it. Scaloni knew it. He knew it. That's the only thing he could do. And Alvarez, man, I'd like to see Alvarez starting. Personally, this is my opinion. I think Julian Alvarez with Lionel Messi would be better than maybe Lautaro. I know that can be bold for a lot of people, but I think long term it is gonna make sense. And Enzo starts too, man. Those two River Plate boys, man. But
I love it.
But it's not good, man. Not good.
Last one we haven't spoken about was the most recent game, right? And that would be Belgium versus Canada. And I gotta say, Canadian fans, hold your heads up, man. True. That was a hell of a performance. The only thing I'm pissed about is Alphonso Davies is not a penalty taker. Never has been, never will be. Why did Alphonso Davies take that penalty?
He's the best player, man. He's the best
player. Jonathan David takes penalties.
Man, I'm gonna support my guy Fonzie, man. Baller still, but I get you where you're coming from because being the star, man, he is carrying the nation, man.
Well, if you're being a star man and carrying the nation, then that means you need to have the understanding that you are not meant to go against Thibaut Courtois on a penalty when you've never done it before.
Wait, what? Wait, Jonathan David did it.
Jonathan David has not gone against Thibaut Courtois, but he's at least taken penalties in games before. Like, you know, Alphonso Davies does not take penalties, right? And I got to shout out. Listen, Belgium. I don't think they necessarily deserve to win that game at all.
I agree.
Kamal Miller was great for me. Alistair Johnston was great for me. Eustaquio was decent for me. Tayon Buchanan was great for me. They just missed what the U.S. lacked, which was a little incisive finishing. And that penalty that they got that they did not put away, but they had 21 shots. Doesn't matter that you had 21 shots. They had a better XG. Doesn't matter that you had better analytics. In the end, Belgium had been there before, and you had a feeling that when Davies missed that penalty, that Belgium was going to find a way to get that goal, and that's exactly what they did through Batman.
Batman. Oh, man, it's true, man. It's true, Michi Batshuayi. Like, another player, another one bites the dust, man. You know what I mean? Like, it's amazing how some of these players for the national team, they just get a different limelight. And Michi Batshuayi is one of those players. But yes, people, tell us down below, who is your highlight of the World Cup and that we forgot to mention in this video of the World Cup so far? And if you're listening to us until now, you sure enjoy listening. So don't forget to like this video, okay? And subscribe to FC Wonderkid on YouTube. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. And thank you to everyone that's going bold by listening to our content community. See ya.